Do you care too much what people think about you? Well, quit that. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop caring what other people think about you. Welcome to the Bad Creatives Podcast Show. I'm Alexa Van.
The Bad Creatives, yeah.
If you're an artist, you're a non-conventional person, you're sensitive, you feel everything, and that is your superpower, but it's also your strength because it means that you're going to be more sensitive to what other people think and to judgment and rejection. And if you let the fear of what other people think run the show, then you're never going to be able to fully express what's inside of you. So today, I'm going to share how to stop caring so much what other people think about you so that you can create unapologetically and lead with your truth. Here's the thing, we are wired to care what other people think about us. It's old survival programming. Like a bajillion years ago, if you didn't fit in with the tribe, you would literally die. So it's normal and natural to care what other people think about you. If you're a visionary, you're an artist, you're a non-conventional person, that means you're a leader. And a leader cannot afford to hand over the wheel to other people's opinions. That is the fastest way to kill your creativity. Why it's important to care way less what other people think about you. If you don't learn how to hold on to your own truth, then you will always end up being led instead of leading. For free thinkers, for artists, for visionaries, that means you're going to get a lot of pushback. The good news is each time you learn to trust yourself, each time you move forward with your own authority, you're strengthening those neural pathways and showing yourself that it's possible, so it'll be easier for you to do every single time. First things first, anchor yourself in your why. What is it that you value more than being liked and more than what other people think about you? This is going to give you strength. It's going to anchor you in why you're moving through this discomfort, why you're choosing to be misunderstood or allowing other people to misunderstand you. For me, I value depth. So this is a huge motivator in everything that I do. People who struggle to look beyond the surface, they're not going to get what I'm doing. They're not even going to be interested. They're not going to relate with me, so why would I squeeze myself into what they can grasp? I wouldn't. Approval from others can be just as much of a cage as disapproval. It keeps you chasing approval like it's a treat when really it's a leash. It feels really good to be recognized. It's hard to always be your own biggest fan. So it's okay to receive compliments, but just take them as a neutral fact. Yeah, of course, I am good at this. I do know what I'm doing. Of course my song is good. You can appreciate that and feel good about that. Simply saying thank you is enough. Instead of chasing approval, seek to connect authentically. If somebody doesn't like who you are or what you're doing, you're still going to be more free knowing that you were being yourself and honest than you would feel if you got their approval for being a fake version of yourself. Now you've put yourself in a box where you're always going to have to perform. And we want to leave the box so that you can find truth and you can find freedom. Performing has a ceiling. Your dignity and your own validation will always be more valuable and less fleeting than outside validation. Step 2, stop taking things personally. I cannot stress this enough. It's not about you, what other people think. Most people's thoughts are just inherited from their family, from the people around them, from their environments. They're really not that unique. It's not even their fault 100% for thinking the things that they do. They're probably not even checking in with themselves and asking, is this even true? They don't really care. If you don't work hard on training your mind and giving yourself boundaries on what you think of, you're likely going to stray all over the place. Somebody could have one thought about you one day and think something completely different the next day. And it has nothing to do with you. It's all about where they're at and what mood they're in. There's no way that you can control that. One thing that really helps me is asking, is this true? When I think that somebody's judging me, I ask myself, is that even true? Is there even really evidence of that? Because a lot of the time, it's in my head. Nobody even really said anything, and I'm just piecing things together because I'm afraid of being judged. That's that old survival skill kicking in again, trying to keep you safe, trying to prevent the fact that somebody might not like what you're doing or they might make fun of you. Interesting people, they don't spend their time sitting around and gossiping about people. They have way more interesting things on their minds. Sometimes people come off as haters, but a lot of times they're just not our people. If you've been one way in a certain environment and you start to open up to new depths or you start to become more vulnerable and put yourself out there in a new way, some people feel threatened by that. That's their own stuff. When you accept them wholly for who they are and where they're at, it's going to open up the path towards realizing you're cool the way that you are, but you're just not my audience. Know your audience. We live in a world of billions of people. So if some people don't like what you're doing or they're making fun of you, it doesn't mean anything. It means you're in a place that perhaps you've outgrown, but since you're still there, the best thing you could do for yourself is just not to take what they say too seriously. There are people out there who will relate to what you're doing, who are excited about what you want to talk about, who do want to see the creations you're putting out there in the world. So just because the people around you don't seem to be particularly interested, it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who are so excited to see what you're creating. If you're too busy locked in on who doesn't like it or who said something weird or snarky about it, then you're missing out on this whole other world of people who really are your audience. People can only relate through their own experiences. So if people have had a lot of bad experiences in their life, they're going to give you negative feedback. They're going to tell you, oh, that's a bad idea, or that's going to be really hard. And that's just their own stuff because that's the experiences that they have had. It doesn't mean that's the truth. They don't know anything more than you. And why would they know more about you than you would? That's just their own projection. Step number 3, lead yourself first. Now that you realize maybe the people I'm around aren't my audience, but maybe I don't know who my audience is yet. You might have to be in the unknown. You might have to hold yourself up first before you find those people who do really connect with what you're talking about. Now you are in a place where you can create whatever it is that you want to create, but not if you're wasting all of your energy on what other people think. You need your energy to go towards what it is that you're building, not wasting it on getting somebody to like you. Society has created so many distractions for us. How could we possibly be messy, creative, innovative people who have to be imperfect on our way to create something if we're really worried about what we look like, if we're obsessing over beauty standards, if we're trying to accommodate and be polite? There's just a raw, gritty messiness to being an artist or a creative, and you cannot do that and look really great at the same time. But you can look really real, and that is relatable. And again, your audience is going to connect with that. Being a leader means going first. So if you're waiting for permission, you're going to be waiting forever. You are rebelling against a system that wants you to stay in line and to fit in, to survive. You are quite literally rebelling against the status quo. It makes sense that other people are going to be triggered by you. You're saying, hey, this is possible. For anybody who's been denying themselves of that, they're going to feel triggered. They're going to be like, wait a minute, how dare you do that? I've been wasting my life doing this other thing, and now you're just gonna do it? What? But having more acceptance for where they're at will free up space for you. This is where environment is really, really important. If you're constantly in low frequency spaces, surrounded by haters, people who sit around and complain, who have victim mentalities, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to be open and vulnerable with those people because it's not going to be received. They're just not on the same brainwave as you. So instead of trying to change them or convince them or get them on board with what you're doing, it's easier to just protect your energy. What I do in these kinds of places, sometimes we need a little bit of time in the in-between. I go and I work in places that it's not the most positive environment. I'm not surrounded by the most uplifting people. Instead of trying to convince them that what I'm doing is something that they should be interested in or sharing my new projects, I just have my boundaries up. I go in, I clock out. I know that I'm just there as part of my path. It's supporting me financially right now, but I don't try to connect with those people. I don't try to change those people, and I don't let them try to change me either. I save my creative side, my creative self, and all of my projects for people who are actually genuinely interested. You don't have to fix those environments. You don't have to fix those people. Just know when to protect your energy and when to share it. Build a loving inner world. This is really important. First and foremost, be kind to yourself. Give yourself princess treatment all the time, every day, no matter what mistakes you made. Every time you start to have a negative thought, just forgive yourself. Say, thank you for trying to keep me safe. I don't need this. And just let it go. Don't beat yourself up about it. Write lists about why you appreciate yourself. Think of yourself as a friend or a lover. If you wouldn't talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself in your head, then correct it. Consider yourself your best friend. So I wouldn't say to my best friend, you're a horrible loser and you should have done a better job. I would never say that. I would be encouraging to my friends because I can see how great of a job that they're doing, no matter how things are going along the way. So apply that same kind of kindness and friendship that you would to them, to yourself. If you're in a really, really bad negative state, if you think you hate yourself sometimes, just shoot for neutral. It just means I don't have to be the very best, but I'm certainly not the worst. This is kind of ego deflation. It's just being right size. It's humility. It's knowing there's no way I'm the worst person in the world. Nobody really cares so much, and this isn't that big of a deal. I want to do what I want to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a good job of that, and sometimes I don't. Whatever. It's just neutral. It doesn't have to be I'm the best in the whole wide world either, because you can't go from 0 to 100 overnight. It helps to build. And over time, as you start to build, it will become easier and easier to see yourself in a positive light. Shame is a motivator. Fear is a motivator. That's why it exists. But it's not a good motivator. Love and appreciation is a way stronger motivator. If you feel something with love, if you inject it with love, watch it come alive. They've even done research on plants where they would like whisper negative things to certain plants and then they'd whisper positive things to other plants. I don't know if they whispered them. They spoke them. And the plants that were told positive things grew faster and stronger. So this stuff is real. Start to experiment with it. If you don't believe it, give yourself 30 days. Just test it out and see the difference. Don't complain and gossip about other people. If you don't want to be judged and you're going to stop judging yourself, don't be judging other people. Think about really interesting people. Think about visionaries. Think about people who are really doing what they love. When you're really judgmental about other people, it's just reinforcing that negative cycle inside of you. And you just don't need that. The better you get at treating yourself well and not judging yourself, naturally it gets a lot easier not to judge other people. Then you can start to see the whole picture fully. And then it makes you feel more free to make your own mistakes because you know that there's more nuance to it all. The next step is future self-visualization. Now that we know we want to stop caring what other people think, stop thinking badly about them, we're going to stop trying to change them, we're going to start thinking and speaking more positively to ourselves. Now we also want to visualize what we're moving towards. What is the version of you who doesn't care what other people think? What are they doing? What are they able to accomplish? Think about that. Feel into that. Write about that. And now start to embody that. Start to feel the feelings that those people feel. Start to see how much easier it is for them to show up for what they're doing. See, when they're devoted to their work, how much easier it is for them to put everything else where it belongs. Be direct. I like to say the universe is autistic and it doesn't understand wishy-washy communication. It needs direct instructions to know what it is that you want. Don't be afraid to just be really clear and ask for what you want. It's going to make it easier for yourself too, because when you know this is what I want, this is really clear, there isn't room for interpretation. It is what it is. And that can feel hard to step into and to own. It's definitely going to make it easier to organize what fits into that and what's aligned with that and adjust accordingly. Once you start to visualize what it is you're moving towards, make it your norm. It's not a dream. It's not out of reach. It's normal for you. If I'm really confident and I believe in myself, and I know that what I'm doing is worth all of the attention that I'm giving to it, that makes sense. I'm dedicated. I'm confident. I know my worth. I expect the best and I get the best. It makes sense that they would work out well for me because I have done everything I needed to do in order to make things work out well for me. It becomes your norm. It's not like so much of a hierarchy. It's not, oh, I'm always shooting for something out of reach. It becomes normal for you. It starts to be what you expect and it becomes easier to manifest it because you believe it is true and then it becomes true. So now your reality begins to reflect that and everything can fall into place. You will have to start to normalize this without any evidence at first. This is where your imagination comes in handy. It takes a lot longer for your reality to match up with everything in your head. We got here through a lot of years of doing what we're doing, so it might take a little bit of time to undo certain patterns. There's nothing wrong with that. Just stick to the course and know that if you fall off, you can get back on. I like to think of this as behind the scenes. If you've ever written a book or you've ever done something that takes a lot of time, a lot of prep work, you know you're working on it for a really long time before you really have anything to show. I wrote that book for a few years before it was available to buy, before some people even knew that I was doing it. That doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. That doesn't mean nothing's changing or shifting. It just means it takes a second before other people can see. We have to trust that we can see the changes every single day, and that matters. And it's not all about the outcome or the ending. It's about the fact that this time we're taking in the in-between is 100% valuable and worth our attention. And again, you need your time and your energy to do that, to show up for that. If you're sitting there thinking, how is this going to resonate? How is this going to land with somebody else? What if somebody doesn't like it? How easy is it going to be to show up for that? It's going to be way harder harder, and you're not going to be able to just get it out and be messy and then go back and edit it later. And guess what? No matter how good of a job you do, people will always hate on it. But not everybody is very intentional with the things that they say. So you're on your way there, and you don't need to worry too much about other people who are not aligned with that, because you're going to meet your people along the way, and you're only going to be alone in it for a shorter period of time. And maybe you have 1 or 2 people you trust. That's enough for now. And you'll find more community while you're on your way. You just might have to be in this sort of liminal space for a little while. Think of that as part of your visualization, this part of you who really believes in themselves. It's important to remember that nothing is really delusional. It's only delusional because you don't have it yet. So it feels far, it feels out of reach. However, reading about people who have done what you've done, you're going to see that it's not delusional at all. That's just a perception. There's just only so much evidence that we can see in our day-to-day lives. But the second you want something, it becomes real. Yeah, absolutely, I can have this, and I want this, and I'm surrounding myself with people who lift me up. I'm not wasting my energy on people who don't get it. I don't care what other people think. And if I feel something that I don't like, I breathe through it, I take a break, and I come back to it the next day. Regulating your nervous system is a huge tool for this. When I was putting my book out and I was having beta readers, getting their feedback sucked. It hurt. And sometimes I just had to read it, close the laptop, and just take a couple days to collect myself. I didn't go getting everybody else's opinions on it. I just let my system regulate, and then I came back to it the next day. Then I was able to implement their constructive criticism because they actually did make some really good points. I'm not just asking anybody for help. I'm asking people who I chose, who I trusted to give me feedback, and I got up again and I did it again. And now here I am proving to myself I can do this. Sometimes I just need to step back for a day. Maybe I need a couple days, but I'm always going to come back to it because I know that what I want wants me to. I know it's not delusional. I know there's other people who have done it before. When you have a thought that you really want that feels delusional to you, it's almost like that's a sign of something that you are ready to align to normalize. And the only thing that's really, truly delusional is thinking that other people's opinions of you should matter more than your own. Other people's thoughts aren't even their truth half the time, so why would you make them your truth? You wouldn't. At the end of the day, other people's opinions are not your compass. Your truth is. If you're ready to go deeper into this and you want some one-on-one support, you can check out my offerings in the show notes. I can help you to regulate your nervous system and give you some really great tools to be able to keep coming back to this, to create a safe space for yourself, and to have some support. You don't have to do everything alone. If you're ready to keep protecting your energy and moving towards this path so you can create a life that you really want, and to keep being an artist and a weirdo and a freak and letting your free flag fly, I've got this whole other video on how to protect your energy by not over-explaining yourself. So if you want to keep the momentum going, maybe check that out next. And thank you for tuning in.
The bad creatives, yeah. The bad creatives, the